Don't let fear silence you. The tough talks and how to master those tough talks, those tough conversations that we dread. We get that pit in our stomach and we don't want to have the conversation, but we know we have to. But sometimes fear holds us back. There's an easy way to prepare yourself for those tough conversations that you don't want to have, but you know you have to. It's important to make sure that both people are somewhat centered and not in a highly emotional state. Being in a highly emotional state is never a good time to try to resolve anything or have a tough conversation about anything. So avoid that. I think it goes without saying, but just a reminder not to do that. And do not begin a sentence with you. Don't do it. That's a trigger right there. And it's best to avoid it. Start the sentence with I and speak from your truth and your point of view only, knowing that the other party is probably going to have a different truth. If you go in knowing that, you'll be a lot better off and you'll be able to maybe hold back and not, give the person room to speak freely without interruption. Very important. And before you have the conversation, it's important that you have a conversation with yourself and know what your objective is for the conversation. What is your objective for having this difficult conversation? Whatever it may be, you need to clarify that with yourself first, because that helps keep you, from going off topic. Because that happens a lot, especially when there's emotions involved. Once things turn to an emotional place where people are speaking just from an emotional place, it's probably best to put a pin in it, because things tend to not get overly, they get heated, and then it's very difficult to convey truths. Sometimes people get a little bit irrational, so keep it as level and as calm as you can, and sometimes you have to walk away. If you see that it's going to a bad place, it's best to excuse yourself and say, I am not in a good place for this. Let's try to revisit it later and try to resolve it later without, escalating the situation. But just remember to clarify it first and speak only your truth, and don't use the word you. Don't begin a sentence with you. If that comes across as blame, and that's never good. There's never a good outcome to that. It could be good, bad or really bad, one or the other, but it's not going to be good. So anyway, there's your tips for a difficult conversation. Make sure that you're not afraid to have the conversation, but make sure that you are in the best possible place to have the conversation. And don't try to, shortcut your way around it. And do not, not allow the other person to speak. That's really important. You need to listen. Listening is probably the most important part of communication. Good luck.